Some marriages today end in divorce, and the impact can be devastating not just on the couple, but on their children.
But there is hope. Stay with us as we talk with a licensed counselor and minister about how to navigate these difficult waters.
Welcome to this edition of Living a Godly Marriage. I'm your host, Melvin Greene.
And I'm your co host, Voncille Greene. And we are pleased to have with us in this edition of Living a Godly Marriage, founder and president of the Tree of Life Counseling and Training Center. Dr. Jones, Dr. Marva Jones, is a licensed counselor, a therapist, and minister. Dr. Jones, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here tonight.
Yes, and we're glad to have you because you're talking about a very important topic. And even though we've been doing this for 6 years, we've never really had a guest to talk about this topic. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, when and why did you start your practice?
Okay, I started my practice, believe it or not, from the age of 8. I have always wanted to be a therapist. And along the way of watching older people, I always was the youngest one in my group. And so I watched them go into business and marketing, and I thought, okay, I want to do that. Never worked out well for me. Everywhere I went, I ended up being the office therapist. And so when I got into my late 30s, I decided I'm going to grad school and got my master's in clinical pastoral counseling and my PhD in biblical counseling. And I've always just had a heart for families.
Oh,
And so that's why I wanted to get started with my practice.
great. And speaking of family,
Right. And
Yes,
if I may say, this is I better be careful, my favorite niece.
at least today. Thank you. And as I lovingly call you, my auntie mom.
I distilled her from her parents ever since she was born. So,
okay.
yes.
Yes.
Boy, that's a tough one to follow there. But anyway, Dr. Marva, as you said, we can call you.
Absolutely.
Where did you get the name of your practice and where is it located?
Okay. Well, I was praying about the name of the practice. I didn't want it to be my name because it's not my practice. This practice belongs to God, so I wanted it to be something that represented Him. So I was actually on the highway, on my way downtown Cleveland to interview with another agency and have been praying and praying about the name of the practice. This truck comes by with this big, beautiful tree on the side of it. And in my spirit, I heard the tree of life.
Oh, wow.
And right away secured the name. I have counseling and training center because I do workshops for organizations, team building, cultural sensitivity issues, anything that can impact a company and they want someone to come in and provide some education, substance abuse education.
That's a big one.
Yes.
So if someone lives out of state, do you provide online counseling?
We haven't started that process yet. As you know, my practice is located in the state of Ohio. I have 2 locations, Westlake and Avon Lake. And basically, they are just starting what's called the Counseling Compact, which means that counselors now will be able to make applications for other states without taking another exam and be able to counsel across state lines. This is something that they started in 2020 when COVID hit. and they understood the importance of people being able to continue counseling when they go on vacation, or there were a lot of people who ended up moving back to their home states with their parents because they lost their jobs during that time period. And then all of a sudden, we weren't able to counsel them. We had a very limited time that we could work with them. But we had to get them referred to someone who was in that state. So I can be anywhere in the world
Oh,
as long as the client or the patient is in the state of Ohio.
Oh,
oh,
Seems a
okay.
little backwards, but that's how it works.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So since you've started your practice, has it met your expectations?
It has certainly exceeded my expectations, and I am very humbled by what has happened because I know it's the hand of God. If
yes.
you took everyone that I've seen over these 22 years,
Wow.
and the people who have come to my practice since I actually started doing the counseling piece to this, which was in 2017 independently. If you put all the people in the room, you would wonder why all of these different people from all these different ethnicities and economic backgrounds, um, genders would come to me.
Hmm.
And for me, that is very humbling, very
So,
humbling.
so
Yeah.
Marva, I understand that you've written a book. Would you talk with us a little bit about that? What is the name of your book and why
I
did you write it?
have. I have. So I'll show the book as well. I wrote a book called The Dance.
Oh, okay.
The book speaks to the power of the father,
Hmm.
Yes.
parenting through divorce and separation. Don't let your children become collateral damage.
Yes, that's good.
Hmm. Okay,
This
and
is something that was important to me because my parents separated when I was 14 and got divorced by the time I was 15.
Wow. And how did that impact you? If you can talk about that.
Yes, I can. At first, it was very difficult because you only knew life with both of your parents in the household. So, as a teenage girl, the only girl in my family, I have
Right.
two older brothers. My oldest brother had gone to the service. The brother next to me, 2 years older than me, we were both still living in the household. And I'll never forget that moment when, our parents sat us down and said, we're getting a divorce. I never anticipated or expected that after 20 years of marriage.
Yes.
yeah.
And so it's pretty devastating.
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting. One of the things that you mentioned in the book was you used the word fad. It seemed like at that time, not only you, but a lot of
Yeah,
your friends were experiencing that as well. Can you tell us a little bit
absolutely.
about that?
Yes, it was a very strange time. It seemed, I think I mentioned in the book that it seems like there was something in the water that everybody who was in their 30s or in early 40s, they were, making this decision to exit their marriages. So I had a lot of, my friends and peers that I went to school with. And the most concerning thing to me is that, as we're talking about this transition, they're saying, well, you're never going to see your dad. I haven't seen my dad in months. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that would be awful. I'm daddy's girl. How can this be happening? And so there was a lot of fear concerning that.
Mhm.
But my experience is that I did not have to go through that. My parents figured it out, which is really led me to, write this book because I know it's possible. I
Hmm.
know people can effectively co-parent after a divorce, but they have to put their feelings aside, work through their issues,
Yeah.
work towards forgiveness, and say, hey, we have these three children, and we're going to continue to parent them. And that's what they did.
That's wonderful.
Wow.
So, in your book, Dr. Marva, you begin explaining God's divine order of the family.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that? What is that exactly?
Yes. So when we go back to creation, and God created Adam, and then from the dirt, right? He could have continued to create that way.
Hmm.
He could have, but he said no. He
Hmm.
took a rib from Adam to make his wife, Eve,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Hmm.
And so there's an order to it. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so they were already joined from the beginning because of how they were created. And then they had children.
Hmm.
There's a divine order for that. Men and women bring something very different to a relationship, to a marriage, to a family, and to parenting.
Right.
And so there is an order. And part of that, we must have God as the foundation.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Then we have the marriage relationship,
Hmm.
and then the relationship with the parents and the children.
Thing that always talk about divine order thing always interests me about that creation story is everything was good, and then God said it is not good. And what was
Yeah.
not good
For the
for
man to be alone.
The
man
man to be alone. Yes,
needed help, and we
that's
still
right.
need help.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
So
And
so
and and it's interesting too. I just have to say this, how, he spoke things and they became, right? But when
yes.
he came to Adam, it says he formed him.
Mm,
Wow.
yes,
He
yes.
formed him. So I'm going to take my time. I'm going to form him and make him in my image
Right.
Right,
and
right.
likeness.
Right, right. That's fantastic. So, and yet it's a divine order, it's a divine institution that
Yes.
God created,
Right.
not just for Adam, but also for Eve. But unfortunately, divorce is a big part of our society,
Today.
especially here in this country.
Yes.
So, and yet at times it's not, the decision to divorce is not just made by the couple. So how much should a husband or wife considering divorce involve other family members and friends in making that
Yes.
decision?
Good question.
Not at all.
Okay.
It is difficult for family and friends to be neutral,
Yeah.
right? Because I can share with you what I've been experiencing, right? People can share with you what they've been experiencing in their relationship. And then they've told you all of the things, all the horrible things. They're not going to
Yes.
tell you, they're not telling you the good things. They're telling you because they're building a case for their side, right?
Yes.
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 And then something happens that they make a decision to reconcile.
Mm.
And then they go back to these same people that they said all these horrible things to concerning their husband or their wife. And the family is like, what? You're taking
Mm.
them back?
Right. Right.
And
And
so
they can
then,
even,
go
I'm
ahead, I'm
sorry, they
sorry.
can even forgive their spouse, and
Yes,
then their friends get upset at them because they've
yes,
forgiven his.
yes,
Family.
absolutely,
Well,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yes,
And
yes.
so we have to be very careful with what we share because
right.
typically we don't share the balance.
Mm.
It's like going into the court of law as an attorney. You go in there and you share what's going to support your case.
Right.
Right, right. That's true.
So
Yeah.
when a person gets a divorce, what feelings do they often have?
If they're honest, they grieve
Mm.
Mm.
Yes.
because it is impossible to meet someone, fall in love with them, make plans with them, dream with them,
Yes. Wow.
buy a home together, have children together, and then it ends
Hmm.
Mm.
and you walk away without feeling anything.
Wow.
Yeah,
Impossible. You've
yeah.
lost something.
Mhm.
Wow.
You've lost something.
Yeah, that's so true. But now, does a husband or man and woman have the same feelings, and do they handle it the same way, or they handle it differently?
I don't think they handle it the same at all. They're
Mm.
both hurting, but how they demonstrate their pain could
Mm.
be different.
Mhm.
For example, I often talk about how men, express feelings and they have one safe feeling that they're comfortable expressing, which is usually anger.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And in our society, we have created that, right?
Mm,
So I always think about the little boy, and I talk about this in the book, the little boy who's, he's running outside and he falls down and he skins his knee and he goes in the house and he's upset and he's sobbing. And they were like, "What are you doing? Boys don't cry.
mm.
Boys don't cry. Toughen up. It's okay." Little girl's outside. She runs outside. She falls. She skins her knee. She goes in and she gets picked up.
Mm.
It's going to be okay, baby.
Yeah.
She's permitted to share her emotions. She's hurt, so she's crying. Same
Wow.
pain, but he
Well,
wasn't allowed to cry.
right. And that reminds me of a family situation. My nephew fell down, hurt himself, and we were saying exactly what you just said.
Yeah,
A man up, basically, and he's 10,
right.
maybe younger, and he's bleeding, and
Yes,
telling him not to cry. And
right.
he said, "But it hurts."
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
yes,
And same thing
absolutely.
as men. It hurts.
It hurts.
Right.
It
And
really, really.
so when men are going through divorce, yes, they're hurting too.
Yes.
Right. So how do you, what's your advice, or how do you counsel men and women to help them heal from those hurt
That's a good.
and pain?
Yes. The first step is to let's explore and identify what you're feeling.
Mm,
Let's explore and identify how you got here.
Yes, that's good.
Let's be honest and own that you played a part in it too.
mm,
And
yes.
let's get to a place of forgiveness.
Yes.
When you can have forgiveness, then you can begin to really heal and have acceptance about where you are today.
So let
Yeah.
me ask you this. At what point in the marriage would you recommend a couple come to counseling?
As soon as there is the first sign of trouble.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Why do
Okay.
I say that? Because people get so far down the road and there's so many layers to what has happened. And so there's some distance there. And when there becomes distance, then it opens the door for people to have an affair, whether it be emotional
Mhm.
Hmm.
or physical or both.
So when you say emotional, can you talk a little bit more about what you mean by that? Emotional?
Yes, instead of talking to their spouse about, I had a hard day at work, or I'm struggling with finances, they begin to have those conversations with other people.
Hmm.
And then that person
That's
becomes their support
yes.
system.
Right,
The
right.
spouse is left out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, we did an episode on that. And for men, it is not only other people, it could be, their frat brothers, uh,
Sure.
you know, it,
Colleague,
co-
female colleagues.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. It's just amazing. And yet, this person who you said I do too and
Yeah.
believe that God sent that helped me, then but you don't talk to her, and that's
Yeah.
that's really unfortunate. And the reality is too, in most work situations, there are single women there, and you start opening that door, they're going to
Hmm.
reciprocate,
Mhm.
and that's a dangerous
Absolutely.
road
Yes, it
to
is.
head down. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
So, Dr. Marva, in your practice, do both parents generally come in together? And what would you recommend to, for example, if the wife wants to come in, the husband does not, what would you recommend in that particular case?
Yes. First off, I recommend that they both come in to do, couples counseling, marriage counseling. But I also recommend that each of them do individual counseling, and that's with a separate therapist
Mhm.
Oh.
Okay.
so
Mm-hmm.
that they each can be heard by someone as far as
Okay.
what they're feeling. And then they go to, again, a separate counselor to do the marriage counseling.
So when they go to the separate counselor, do those two counselors talk to each other? Uh, for example, if I go and talk to a counselor and open up and share some things, would that counselor talk to the counselor that's counseling both of us?
With written consent, yes.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, okay.
And ideally that happens. But then there are sometimes they might be sharing things that would further damage the relationship, and they have to figure out how they're going to navigate through that. And
Oh,
so ideally, yes, it would be better if all of the therapists would be in communication. But we have to have written consent because of HIPAA to be able to do
Yeah,
that.
right.
right, right. Wow, that's interesting.
Now,
Wow.
have you encountered that in your practice where you had to communicate with another therapist regarding your,
Yes, I have.
okay.
Yes, I have. And what I try to do is have them, if there's a situation that needs to be disclosed, but they have fear about disclosing it, is I try to work with that therapist to have what we call full disclosure.
Mhm.
Because what happens, you don't want people to make this decision, we're going to work on this marriage, and then other things come to light,
Mm,
and you know that will happen,
Yes.
right.
right? And now you're starting over again when you
Mm.
could have just handled all of it when you first came into counseling.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can see how that could really get complicated. And
Absolutely. It
and
does.
also the legal issues that come into.
Yes. Yes. That's why we have the written consents. Yes.
Right, right,
Mhm.
right. Wow, wow. So how often, well, a couple things about the children. How often do they come in with the parents, or at what point in the process do you talk to the children? And is there age requirement for that, or you talk to young children, teenagers, adult children? Talk about that.
I talk to children of all ages
Mm.
because no matter how old a child is, when the parents get divorced, there's pain associated with that.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
so I think it's important that the children are a part of the process. But I don't bring the children in until the parents have made a decision of how they're going to move forward. Because
Okay,
when people come to me, especially, you have people who met in high school,
Mhm.
right? They've been together 20, like my parents, 20, 25 years. For me, and they have their two or three children. It's just them, it's just their family.
right.
I'm going to do everything that I can to help them see why they should stay in it,
Mhm.
right?
Yes, right.
Barring anything that I feel that someone's safety is at risk.
Oh,
Oh,
That I am not going to encourage.
good.
But if if there's not any safety risk
Mhm.
and maybe there's just a situation we just don't talk anymore, we're just not getting along, we can fix that.
Mhm.
mm-hmm,
We can
mm-hmm.
work on that. But I don't bring the children in until the parents have made a decision of what direction they're going to go.
Right,
Going to
right.
stay married,
Mm-hmm.
or we're going to end this marriage. And then, of course, you're having two different conversations with the children at that
Right.
point.
Wow.
So let me ask you a question. If
Yes.
parents decide to divorce, what impact does that have on the children, and what mistakes do parents make
Mm.
after getting a divorce with their children? What mistakes
Yeah.
you found that parents make?
Again, I say it's very devastating. I remember when my parents were getting to a place that everybody in the family knew that the marriage was in trouble.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in the summer. And it was getting close to that time, in about a month or two, time to go back to school. And I remember grabbing my parents, each of them by the hand, and bringing them together and saying,
Mm,
you two need to do something.
mm,
We'll be going back to school next month, and all of this has to stop.
mhm,
In my mind, I thought, oh, they'll go talk to the pastor, they'll get counseling. I was not prepared to hear we're getting a divorce.
mhm. Right.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
my initial feeling, in addition to feeling devastated, I
Hmm.
felt guilty
Mhm. Why do you say that?
because in my mind, that conversation led them to that decision.
Mm,
Oh, okay.
In my mind, in
Yes.
my 14, 15-year-old mind,
Right,
that's
right.
what I thought.
Now, because of that, I guess you never brought it up again, trying to reconcile them, huh?
Oh no.
Right.
No.
Oh, no,
They
that's
ended up doing very well being co-parents and friends. But
yes,
deep down in the heart of every child, no matter if we're 4 or 40,
right.
right.
You want your parents back
we have
together.
that dream.
Right.
We have
Yeah,
that dream, right?
yeah,
It's a beautiful thing when your whole family is together,
Yes.
but
yeah.
it's not always possible.
Right.
Right,
And
right.
you want your parents to be happy.
Right.
Right, right.
And so I just appreciate the fact that again they were able to work through their issues, become good friends, and just co-parent seamlessly. So whatever you did at one house, you might as well done at the other because you're getting the same consequences.
And of course, I knew your father. I knew
Yes,
your father. We were good friends. Yeah.
yes,
So
yes,
I understand.
yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So children adjust based on how the parents adjust.
Hmm. Wow,
If
that's
they're being chaotic, the children are going to be chaotic and all over the
Mm,
place.
yes,
See, the
yes.
kids are already anxious
right.
because they don't know what to expect.
Mhm.
Right, right.
So they're watching how their parents are interacting with each other.
Wow. Well, I tell you, this is really interesting, but we are running short of time. But one thing I wanted to mention before we end is it's great that you had a positive experience
Yes.
Yes, I
despite
did.
your parents' divorce, and you have made it a point to really encourage and help others. So we're going to continue this interview. We're going to end this episode, but we're going
Okay.
to bring you right back
Right
to
back.
continue.
Yes. Is that okay
Okay.
with
It is okay with me. Thank you so much.
you?
Okay. So, as we always like to close, we say,
Living
living
a
a
godly
godly
marriage
marriage
is
is
the
the
best
best
marriage.
marriage.